the Nifty Morning Show. We're back. Pio's gone. He's on stage right now on Twitter, but he's not present on YouTube, which means I'm the king of this show right now. So you're welcome, Pio. We played music that people wanted to actually listen to this morning, not that trash that you blast through people's ears every morning. I mean, we've got it. Yeah, we understand that you're a big fan of hip hop. This morning, I mean, honestly, we're all rich today. We looked at our accounts and we're just like, what? It feels good being rich. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm surprised your picture yesterday didn't mark the top. I really thought that was it.
No, I think what's been happening is people have realized that we're actually catalysts for the market. Timed right. The rap video was a major catalyst. A lot of people saw that. And
I like the carpet set up with the hoodie there. It looks like the hoodie's reflecting off the mirror into the carpet. It's a very nice touch there. It's an innuendo, if you will. It's also, I like that you're rocking funks there and not crypto punks because they're left facing.
Well, okay. That's not the way that that's called a mirror, easy. So that's the way that actually operates there. A mirror turns things around. A lot of people get confused about that. But I don't know. How y'all doing this morning?
Dude, I feel great. I feel great. It's been a great day. Dude, Solana looks incredible. I've never been happier. I wasn't even this happy when it was $260, but seeing it at 32, man, I feel reinvigorated.
I'm kind of shocked. Like the price action that we're seeing right now is pretty crazy. I said on yesterday's show, the level I was looking at is for us to go over 32,000. Well, we just like blasted through that.
It hit 35K at 10:16 last night. 35,000 United States dollars. It's up 117% year to date. It feels good, man.
You know, it's funny because I always call August aubergine season, eggplant season, when nothing was happening, or nothing was happening in the market. And now this is harvest time. This is harvest time, and it's just time to collect what you have planted. It feels good, man. I have to say, my wallet was looking fresh this morning. I'm going to go buy a new watch today, sponsored by, I won't say the name. But let's just say I'm in the mood to spend some cash.
Some cash. That's what we need. I'm just saying, someone up here was yelling Q3 2023. It feels like that's going to be the end of it, that we're going to start cooking. We're going to start ramping. And it looks like that timetable may be playing out in real time.
I mean, I'm just a little pissed that I was talked out of putting a bunch of money at $17 with Sol. We've basically doubled the position, and all I got was $2,500. I'm now owed by PO $5,000. Sorry, actually no, it would have been $7,500 is additional of what's owed to me.
You were gonna. How much were you gonna put in, and how much did Pio convince you to like DCA instead?
He was gonna put $250,000 in, and Pio told him to only put 100. It was messed up, dude. I would never lead my friends down that path personally.
It was only 10 grand that I was putting in at that moment, but I'm still in the position of why not have. So I was checking. I now have like $40,000 of Solana, and I'm thinking that maybe I should be at 100. Like maybe that this is worth really upping in a major way. The issue is it's hard to buy a candle like this. Like it's just
you can't dude. Just sit and wait. If it chops here for 5 days, then I feel more comfortable buying it here. But like you need some validation of this establishing resistance or support here versus buying a 10% move. Like my DCA still happens every day, but I've talked a lot about for a while I was only buying red days, regardless of how red it was. It was like if it's red, I buy. But then I shifted to I'm just gonna buy every day. But days like this, I'm like, dude, I want to pause the DCA on a day like this today because it's just gonna kill my average.
I just want to say I basically ticked the bottom. Like that's the thing that's so the local bottom, by the way. I'm not at sub 15, which is where it was at. It was down sub 10. Which I did pick up some there. I don't know what my average Solana price is. I don't know if Gemini tells you what your average is, but it's low. I know that much because I've been aping in probably or definitely sub 20. So that feels really good. And the only thing holding me back is that I don't want to increase that average price. So I'm being stubborn and just waiting for it to pull back, which is really, I don't know.
What you're hoping for is that the BTC ETF does not get officially approved over the next like 24 hours. And I think we will see a red day mixed in here. But like, this is, dude, that Cointelegraph intern, man, looks like a genius now.
Well, there was another rumor going around, and then I saw a video clip of the BlackRock dude. What's his name?
Larry Fink.
Larry Fink back on CNBC yesterday, essentially saying that this is a false rumor again. But he also has to take that position and enjoys being on CNBC to parrot the positions of BlackRock, which it was literally a marketing opportunity for BlackRock. I was like listening to this clip. I don't even know if that clip is real. Like when I see a video on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, I have people correcting me about this now. And I'm like, no, it's still Twitter. What's the URL that you go to when you visit
X.com?
Twitter.com.
I go to X.com.
Twitter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's shorter to type.
What are you doing, Signal?
Twitter. 100%.
See, that's what I'm saying. So we're not fully over to that X game yet. Okay, Pio, come back in a little bit if you want to really like ruin the show. Just kidding.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Also, as well, how can the thing? Okay, I know this is rumor going around, but BlackRock would never say openly to the market that they're buying Bitcoin.
They can't.
Because they. Sorry, what do you say, Easy? They can or they can't?
They cannot.
Yeah, they can't. Exactly. So, because obviously a market manipulation. So that means every other ETF. So that means other ETFs would think they're getting approved, which means other ETFs would start buying as well because they're likely to get approved. But so it just seems as if right now, that this could still be another Cointelegraph. Sorry, was it Cointelegraph?
It was Cointelegraph, yeah.
Yeah, so another Cointelegraph situation. But look, I like the winds of the direction that we're going. You know, number go up, amazing. But I just feel like we're celebrating a little bit premature.
They always say when the market goes up like this, the winds are winds of you wanna.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they describe sort of the climate that you're experiencing.
As Rafiq Anadol put it so elegantly just a few weeks ago, if the price goes up, winds of Yama Wama
are blowing through. I saw another thing, Pio, last night when we were shooting a video. This video looks really great. Pio, I did not by any means show that video trailer to Clemente, Easy, and Signal. I did not do that. Okay, so I just want you to know that there's no way that they saw any of that clip. But let's just say the video is looking really promising, and looking forward to publishing that today.
I stayed up until past 1 a.m. editing it.
I saw your message because I woke up at 3 because I fell asleep on my bed fully clothed, and then I woke up, I looked at my phone, saw the time, and saw your message, and I'm like, what? He sent me a message at like 1:30 in the morning. Like, what the hell? What is going on? When did you start editing that?
I started later. The apartment was like a mess, as you could tell, and I was like, "What are you doing?" And so I cleaned up the apartment.
Right now, I gotta clean it up today. That's definitely an activity.
I had to clean up the apartment. I also was pretty hyped up after my late night Bitcoin space, but I cleaned the apartment and then I was editing the video. And then I found this plugin that I needed for the video. And I was like, I think I'm going to just pay for this shit. Like, I was like, I think we're buying this. I think our company needs this plugin. And I was like, how do I buy it? Like, it's $20 a month. I'm buying it. And then I found out we already had it, bro. I found out it came in the plugin package that I already bought, bro. So I had to like install it and learn how to use it. And then when I learned how to use it, I was like, oh, this video is going to be a lot of fun.
That was that overlay effect. Yeah. You can also just throw that in After Effects, right? But you did that in Premiere?
I don't know anything about After Effects, buddy. I'm a Premiere guy.
After Effects is such a hassle, dude. I spent like a full weekend trying to learn that thing, and I was like, dude, this is so complicated. It does add a nice touch to stuff, but like you can lose hours just messing with that stuff.
It's pretty challenging. The benefit is it integrates with Premiere. But anyways, right now, the price action is looking very promising. Clemente, you should just change the title. I do see you updating it here right now. It says, how high can we go? Which feels a little more abstract. just write Bitcoin is the king or BTC, you know, like write something that offends everybody else. Like you need, that's not the Bitcoin maxis that are like, no, I prefer ETH. ETH started to come around last night. We got it up to, you know, 1700.
Well, you know, the market's cooking when Pepe does a 50% candle on top of everything else.
Well, they also burned what is it?
$6.9 million.
6.9 trillion.
No,
US dollar value, I think was what it was.
Well, yeah, 6.9 trillion of the Pepe token, which is like what percentage of the supply?
Which is worth $6 million before.
Okay. I'm interested in the percentage of supply. So it went down from 420.69 trillion. We're down to 391. I mean, my question is Pepe the new Doge?
I think so. Call me crazy. I think so. I think that and the people's Bitcoin are actually going to continue to be the meme coins the next cycle pretty aggressively, just because the jokes are way funnier. Like Doge and Shiba at this point, yes, it's more normie focused, but like, dude, something about Pepe being an internet meme for so long, and I hold 0 of these, by the way. Like I don't have any exposure to this or the people's Bitcoin. But on top of this, Obama's half-brother started tweeting about MOG last night, which is another meme coin, and Giga sent it. He started posting pit vipers and all these MOG memes and was getting on spaces.
Who the hell is Obama's half-brother?
Alec Obama?
Is this guy for real?
It's the same guy who posted Obama's fake birth certificate. He posted a fake birth certificate of Obama saying that he was born in Kenya in 1961 and the Republic of Kenya wasn't formed until 1964. So this guy's out to lunch. Him and Obama are not friends, but he posted a ton of MOG memes last night, like hyper aggressively shilling MOG, was getting on spaces. He was all in.
So
he
it's
was
not
all in.
Really Obama's half-brother.
No, it is.
It is.
No, it is.
This is his actual half brother. Like 100%, they share a parent, not both. One.
They share the dad, I think.
And he posted that Obama was born in Kenya.
Yeah, this was a few years ago, right after the election, when the whole rumors were speculating that he was born in Kenya. He posted a fake birth certificate saying Obama was born in Kenya before Kenya was established.
Dank Hank says, I followed. I wish I knew about this guy when I did my space last night. What's
the deal with the MOG has been all over my timeline for an extended period of time, and including I see K Money. You know,
he's a big MOG maxi, yeah, huge MOG maxi.
So what's the deal with this coin?
It's just another meme coin that got its run during like the meme coin mania that was happening. They just are really into pit vipers. That's the big thing, like those glasses. And they just throw pit vipers on everything. We've saw OSF, MOG, his PFP, where he puts pit vipers on it. It's just been a reoccurring meme at this point of that is kind of in the same boat as Pepe and the people's Bitcoin. So people, they say that they're mogging. And what that means is they wear pit vipers in public. And yeah, it's certainly a rather interesting circumstance. Are you mogging, Nick?
No, but I do like the glasses. It is annoying, some of the replies that show up. It's not as bad as the tip coin.
I'm so glad Tip is dead. That was terrible. Just commenting Tip on everything.
That was rough. I thought that was like the weirdest thing ever. And it like hurt my feelings to see people that I knew doing it. I was like, what do you mean you're doing the Tip thing?
MOG is at like 50% of its all-time high versus Pepe is way less than that. I don't know. I'd probably buy Pepe over MOG at this point in time. But it is hilarious because for the longest time, all the people posting the technical charts of Pepe, like when literally the chart looks like every pump and dump, it goes straight up, or every NFT project straight up, and then just a gradual decline to zero. And it's pretty funny. Now we're seeing some action. And frankly, if Bitcoin pumps, I am interested in this. I want to see what this price action looks like on Bitcoin over the next week or two. I have gotten stuck. I've gotten caught flat-footed in the other bull markets where sometimes the market just keeps pumping, and you miss out on those pullbacks. For example, the Bitcoin pump from November 2020 to
December
to March of 2021 if you look
50K.
at the monthly, it's just straight up, basically. Like there's no pullback on the monthly. If you look on the weekly for that same time, it's also borderline straight up. So you get this run where it goes from October 2020, or actually March 2020 is really when it starts like accumulating, because you could have got it down at like sub 6,000.
That's when I started buying Bitcoin.
But from like 12,000 up to 40,000, it just basically goes straight up. And so there's no pullback in that situation. And so that's where, like, if you do like what you fear, if you're someone who's looking to like buy in some major size and trying to catch the bottom, you're like, when it pumps, you don't have an opportunity to do that, and you miss a lot of the upside to that, which is why if there's more exposure that you want, you might as well just buy it, you know, at the moment where you have the money to buy it. Like that you're far better positioned to just do that, because calling the pullback is tough. That said, it is a weird market right now at this moment in time. We see the futures are up right now. And the thing that is not clear is how this interest rate experience is going. That said, what was the tweet I saw yesterday? Who was the guy who said we've exited our bond position? We've stopped shorting.
What's his name?
The guy that came on during COVID and said
Paul Graham.
No, we need a Paul Graham is the Y Combinator person.
That's right.
Different guy. Starts with the B. Anyways, financial guy. I saw him, Bill Ackman. There you go. So Bill Ackman came out and like posted this thing that essentially had said that he was no longer short bonds, and so it didn't. He didn't say they're going long, but yesterday was a huge, I think, a continued push of the 10-year over 5%, and so I think maybe what they're saying is, hey, that's basically calling the bottom, is what you're saying on the market. So if that really is the case, then I don't know, maybe just take your last position, you know, on Solana, on Bitcoin, and then just wait for a year.
I just want to keep buying Solda personally. Like, I don't give a shit if I buy it at $50. I don't give a shit if I buy it at $60.
Solana seems like the single best buy at this moment in time. Still, I've been annoyed. Pio, give me the $5,000 that I'm about to go buy of Solana. That's what I'm saying, and then we're even. Okay, we're even on.
You're supposed to just always be buying it. That's the point that you missed. If you listen to my show, always buying it, not every once in a while, always. If you listen to the show last night, I actually laid out all anybody needs to know was laid out on the show last night. And Nick, if you could just take a quick peek. Okay, never mind. It looks like you already you're on top of it. Clemente?
Yeah, I was just wondering, Pio, what got into, like, what it made you want to start that space. I really enjoyed it. It was a side of you that we don't usually see during the morning show. There was a lot of profanity, a lot of vulgar things being thrown about me, frankly, which I didn't really appreciate. I was just trying to write out the news.
Why don't you like the Finnish, dude? What is, like, that was breaking news that you have a major issue with Finnish people.
Nick, I announced to an audience of over 100 people when, like, within a minute of Clemente entering the show, that he's terribly racist, specifically against Finnish people. He can't take the Finns. And yeah, I guess he liked that one. But no, basically what got into me, Clemente, is I just thought everybody needed to understand, because I've seen so many people being like, you know, this might be a local top, and like people that just didn't understand anything. It's like, dude, you just have no clue what's going on, and this is literally just the beginning. And when I said on this show like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, every day right now is like the Super Bowl for Bitcoin, it wasn't a joke, amigo. It was just a flat out fact. I didn't know if it was going to come today. I didn't know if it was going to come tomorrow. I didn't know if it was going to come at the end of the year. But this isn't like an accident, and it's not a surprise at all. And it's also not going to stop. That doesn't mean it's not going to pull back to 22K Bitcoin. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. I hope it does. or I'll just buy the top forever like Michael Saylor and sell me your Solana between here and $70. I don't care. Sell me your Bitcoin between here and $69,000. I do not care. I'll see you guys in 2025. All that matters is how much you have in 2025. How much Bitcoin, how much Solana, how much Ethereum. That's all that matters is what do you have in 2025. Nick?
Real quick, Clemente, I took care of the issue that you were sending. A lot of people are trying to figure out what that was. It was an ad link. The thing that Clemente doesn't realize is for me to dig that out rather than just sending me the DM with the link so that I can go search through this to figure out the actual link. Maybe in the future, you can actually send it to me via DM to make sure that that action is taken within 1 week. Okay. So that's the lag time that I need on that situation. Anyways, we went way over without a weather report here. And I think it's just because we're in a celebratory mood. Pio was also shocked by the music selection that I had today because he's never heard that sort of quality of audio in his eardrums. But we were having, well, actually, I'm kind of curious. I want to hear, can we get a little sample of late night Pio, maybe for the morning people?
Sure, Clemente, why don't you play any section of that from last night real quick? And ladies and gentlemen, we're going to dive into the show. Clemente's getting this ready. Today, we are going to discuss all things crypto price action, as you've already heard, including the Bitcoin surge to the 17-month high. Ethereum coming back. What a surprise. No, I thought it was going to go to zero. I really thought Bitcoin was going to pump to 40K and Ethereum was just going to go straight to zero, guys. I'm so surprised by this. And then last but not least, whether or not we are entering a Memecoin season 2 starting in November. Real quick, I want to have a monster shout out to the amazing partners of today's show. You've heard us talk about them before. SHRAPNEL. SHRAPNEL is an upcoming extraction first-person based shooter game brought to you by a team of absolute badasses from the video game industry. Early access to the game is coming in December. It's going to sneak up on you. It's coming. The extraction packs just went up for sale. They're available for a limited time. They have 3 tiers available. The cheapest tier starts at $20. It's going to give you early access to the game, weekly drops, operators, which are in-game assets, and more, especially if you purchase one of the higher tiered packs. So everyone that buys an extraction pack and then comments a screenshot of that purchase in the pinned tweet in the next 24 hours is going to be entered to win one of 2 operators that were given away in partnership with SHRAPNEL, and that's worth almost $200. So if you want to sign up, go to thenifty.com/shrapnel. That's thenifty.com/SHRAPNEL, and you can buy your limited extraction pack there. We will be talking more about this. Clemente has it pulled up on the screen. This is a dope video game. Pretty much a no-brainer in my book. thenifty.com/shrapnel, SHRAPNEL. So Nick, here's a little sample from last night. Clemente. Looks
As
like
we're my words. Anyway, I know my man Easy Eats Bodega is going to square up with Thread Guy again.
No, skip this part. This is me talking about basketball.
That leak with Michael Saylor and all the ladies all the time. I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there smashing.
That was where I was wondering if Michael Saylor was married or not. One more segment, Clemente, real quick. One more.
Why are you in this space? Why did you even come here?
You
should have been studying Bitcoin, because I can tell that a lot of you just don't know. You're like, what about some bullshit meme coin made by an anonymous person that doesn't know how to speak English? I don't know.
Wait, play more of that. Go
Did you play music the whole time?
Yeah.
hit play, Clemente. Why are you being hesitant? You're being hesitant on the trigger.
Now, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go buy some Bitcoin right now because I want to demonetize you guys. Like that is really how it works. Every time I buy Bitcoin, I'm taking it out of circulation. I'm taking money out of your pocket. You're going to just let me do that? That's okay with you? If someone just walks up to you and takes money out of your wallet, that's okay? I would not. Like, look, maybe I'm
You
different
kind
than
of
you
get
guys.
it. You kind of get it, guys. That's more or less it. That was pretty fun. I really enjoyed doing it. And I probably will do it again and again because there's a part of me that just wants to say, I told you so, because things that are incredibly obvious to me, like the future of Bitcoin, are met with resistance when I talk about them on this show, even by my own co-hosts.
I like Bitcoin Bully. That is a good, and it's, I think you need to have that outlet. And that should be the name of the show. I think you having an outlet to just like basically let out all of that Bitcoin steam that's building up every single day, which you then just like dump on us during this show. If that results in you not having to like it feels like violently impose your opinion on about Bitcoin upon everybody, then I'm totally down with that. I'm still buying Bitcoin. I still own Bitcoin. Yes, Pio, when he comes on the show, is just like, none of y'all understand this concept. This is freaking rocket science. And until you understand, look, you got to go listen to Michael Saylor basically while you get beaten with sticks for at least 30 days straight. It's essentially like a boot camp where they're going to drown you in water while Michael Saylor is being played very loudly. And then they just pull you up just with enough time as you have just a little bit of oxygen left remaining. And you take a deep breath and they put you back down in water after they yell at you, do you understand Bitcoin now? And they just keep abusing you until you go through that boot camp. Pio's been traumatized, essentially, is what happened. And he's now bringing and imposing that trauma upon everyone else that's here, which, I mean, look, I understand, dude. Like, after you've experienced the traumatic experience, like going through that process with Michael Saylor, I totally understand. What's the target? When will you sell your Bitcoin, actually, is my question.
Literally nothing is getting sold until 2025, and that's not an exaggeration at all. And I don't know if any Bitcoin, well, no, I have 1.1 Bitcoins in a specific account that I bought, and I said, you have to sell this. So in theory, at least 1.1 Bitcoins are going to be sold. And then at
what price?
Like 2025, like $170,000 plus. Like something like that. Like anything short of that is not that interesting to me. I just looked, that show is a half hour long. It's like a half hour nonstop, if I remember correctly. I haven't like listened back to it, but the fact that Clemente went to a random spot in it, and I was declaring to everyone that I was buying more Bitcoin, and the result of that was that I was demonetizing. I was taking money out of there, but I did not remember saying that. I think that's a pretty
good line. I like that one. That was actually maybe one of your best comments on Bitcoin ever. That's like actually like that. It paints a picture that is pretty effective and actually demonstrates the structure of Bitcoin, which is that like there is a limited amount of it. So you might as well get as much of it as possible.
Signal, can you hit the weather report? I'm going to do that again next time we pump big, and it's going to be the same thing.
Yo, absolutely, guys. Everyone, it is Tuesday. It is Tuesday.
You seem a little thrown off there. What happened?
I thought it was Wednesday. Just for a moment, I thought it was Wednesday, but it is Tuesday. So we're all good, man. It's Tuesday, October the 24th. Market volume now 17.3 million. Blur at 12 million. Clemente says, wow. OpenSea at 3.5 million. On to the market leaders. Well, with crypto's huge run, actually, most of the leaders are actually bleeding. We're seeing that opposite effect. We've got DGods down 10%. Pudgies and Azuki down 5%, while Captains and Apes, they're holding pretty steady. Looking at the other movers, we have some comebacks brewing with Clones. That's one we haven't heard in a while. Clones and Miladies up another 10%. Doodles up 5% to 1.5 ETH. Sproto Gremlins are absolutely ripping, up 35% to 1.1 ETH. And Utes have taken a hit, an 8% hit, and they're just battling to stay at that 0.7. Over the past 24 hours, well, BlackRock has begun seeding its ETF by buying an undisclosed amount of Bitcoin in preparation of its potential ETF approval. And Bitcoin has obviously gone absolutely ballistic on the news, up 13% in the last 24 hours, reaching prices that we have not seen since May of last year. Ethereum has held up relatively well in comparison, up 10%, but still moving pretty slow in comparison to Bitcoin and Solana. Looking over at SocialFi, Friendtech saw one of its largest sell-offs in the platform's short history, recording 6.6 million in sell volume versus only 700,000 in buys, as Vombatus, one of the largest Friendtech whales, sold over 170 of his own keys for 850 ETH, and he caused mass panic. Others have decided to sell everything on Friendtech and move to the Bitcoin-based new Bitcoin City and are promising to rebuy keys there. Over on the collectible side, Courtyard has teased a community drop that may only be for people with Courtyard cards in their wallet. And Magic Eden announced a second pack drop, this time 250 cards selling for 5.5 SOL each, with various communities receiving an allow list for the drop and aiming to make over $40,000 on this collection. And then lastly, over in fashion, Artifact announced that they will be sending a limited run of 40 What the Artifact shoes to the holders that redeemed each of the 10 original Air Force colorways in April 2023. The rare shoes are going to be shipped out later this week, so no more waiting. It is looking all sunny over in the weather report. So it's back to you guys in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. One actual detail I want to share that is dead serious, and then I'll get into the newsletter, is that a big thing was last night. Someone noticed there was a bid for 2,700 Bitcoins at $30,700, $30.7K. It's a BlackRock bid. That's $82 million of liquidity.
How do you know it's a
Nick,
BlackRock
you're
bid?
muted, buddy. You're muted.
Pio, how do you know it's a BlackRock bid?
It is. It's Larry Fink, baby. It
That's
ain't
the
Michael
thing.
Saylor.
This is the thing that's just like, of course, that's what's circulating right now, is that it's like definitively BlackRock.
If it's not, that's even more bullish. That's unreal if it's not BlackRock. You just figure who else is putting up 82 M's on a
Michael
Monday? Okay, fine.
He's only
maybe
up
it's not BlackRock.
590 million, so maybe he's just trying to DCA up this time.
I didn't expect this. I didn't expect the response of, nah, it's not the, biggest asset manager in the world, that's about to do the ETF. It's somebody else. Okay, fine. It's somebody else. $82 million. I mean, that's a lot of coin that's just chilling there, ready to buy. Anyway, ladies, at 30,700 was the price last night. I don't know what the situation is today. But anyway, newsletter updates. The Daily Digest is posted to X every morning. It's pinned up top. You can subscribe at thenifty.com. Async Art, which is a platform which allowed artists to create no-code generative art, announced that they will be shutting down operations due to market conditions. I remember these guys from 2021. Sorry to see that. They
generated some income.
There you go. But in all seriousness, sorry to see a business go down. Pepe announced the 6 million Pepe token burn. We already did that. Speculation of Jack Butcher to be the next Velocity Pass drop artist is heating up following Butcher's teaser posted to Twitter. So it sounds like, I guess this is probably just a foregone conclusion. The first European movie funded by NFTs called Calladita has dropped their official trailer.
Excuse me. Calladita. Calladita means the quiet one.
There we go. We got a native Spanish speaker coming through. We got to check him on that accent. And then we already talked about Obama's brother talking about Mog, the most random thing ever. But anyway, look, Bitcoin has reached levels that we haven't seen since May 2022, up 12% in the past 24 hours on news that BlackRock, they're seeding their ETF. I don't know what to tell you. Not surprised. Clemente wrote, give your initial reactions about me. I'm not surprised. The ETF was not priced in. Quite frankly, it's still not priced in. You wrote, is the halving also possibly not priced in? No, it's not priced in, Clemente. Every single time people say it's priced in and it's not priced in, it's literally a meme. I had people in the comments last week on this very show, people that used to be mods are mods in our Discord, literally saying that the halving is priced in. This is a meme every single cycle, ladies and gentlemen. It is not priced in. 2024 and 2025 are going to have fireworks. Anyway, Nick, go ahead, please.
I'm going to be honest. I feel like I should ape every single dollar that I have into crypto at this moment in time.
Why did it take you until now? Why did it take you until now?
Hey, you're out here hating, bro. I'm heavily exposed to this space right now. Okay, I have hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting in crypto and NFTs, so it's not like I'm not exposed. It's not like I'm not exposed. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking of moving out of my apartment, taking everything that I have, and going living on a farm for the next 2 years, just so I can like enjoy the wealth and the fruits that are given to me as a result of making these purchases at this moment in time. Wow, ETH is at 1828 right now.
All that matters is how much ETH, Bitcoin, and Solana you have in 2025. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter where you bought it at. Literally, you can buy it at $90,000 Bitcoin. Doesn't matter. All that matters is how much you have in 2025. I don't want to hear about local tops and local bottoms and the chart and the all that matters is how much you have in 2025. That's literally all that matters. I'll buy everybody that wants to sell their Solana here. I'll buy it off of you. Let's go.
Well, go place the buy order right now.
I'm on
Literally
a show.
do it right now. Go place the buy order. Here, I got you with 5K. Boom, bought. 5K Solana bought.
You just bought 5K?
Yeah.
Okay. Nifty Nick, let's go. Test Tube Ted said, is Nick orange pilled? Nick's been orange pilled. Nick's been orange pilled.
I'm on every color of pill test tube, Ted. How you think I come up with these music videos? How do you think I come up with this content? Yeah, bro, I am fully drugged. Okay, I'm a strong supporter of America, big pharma. You know, that's what I'm into. So a lot of those people, all the anti-vaxxers and things and people like that, give me the vaccines and then give me some antidepressants. You know what I'm saying? And then mix that in with a little bit of an upper, and your boy's getting super excited.
Hold on, I got you. Clemente put 2 tweets into this call sheet. Let's go, Clemente. We got a Mike Alfred tweet coming up and then a Lynn Alden tweet. Let's go. Let's go. Real quick.
Oh, my God.
Real quick. Oh, my God, what?
I want to apologize.
Oh, my God. People are right. Here we go. Let's show some people that are correct. Here we go. All right. So we got Mike Alfred, BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, and other major spot Bitcoin ETF issuers are probably going to need several million Bitcoins to satisfy consumer demand over the next 24 months. Where are they going to find that much physical BTC without driving the price to $200,000? Well, they ain't going to be buying that Bitcoin off me. I'll tell you that much. It ain't coming from my wallet, homeboy. You're not demonetizing me before 2025. I don't think so. I'm demonetizing you. I'm literally demonetizing anybody that doesn't buy Bitcoin. Hit me with the Lynn Alden tweet real quick, Clemente, before we move on. Just let me cook for one more second.
I don't even have enough money.
I'm just busy demonetizing people that listen to the show. Let me see the Lynn Alden tweet.
Bitcoin at this price, okay? There you go, Pio. I threw in $1,000 for Bitcoin.
Good job. If you are excited by Bitcoin pumping in price, take a chill pill. You did this last cycle. Don't count every $1,000. If you're confused by why Bitcoin is pumping, spend a couple hundred hours on it. The best advice I've ever heard. It's bigger than you think.
And get beaten into you while you're listening to Michael Saylor music at obnoxiously loud levels that infuriate your neighbors.
It's bigger than you think, and institutional capital now understands this. It's bigger than you think, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't understand it.
Go clean.
Sorry?
You got to say the 2 tweets. Go clean yourself up. Okay.
Anyway, I'll pass the mic to somebody else. Beanie had a bearish take. He's funny, man. He's wicked funny. Obviously, a smart guy. Doesn't feel like he understands Bitcoin. I don't really know what the situation is there. Doesn't feel like he understands Bitcoin. He's saying that the ETF is priced in. So I don't know. But anyway, if someone else wants to grab the mic, that's fine.
No, I'm not saying I need to grab the mic. I just said you may need to clean yourself, like just in case. For the fact that you got to read 2 of Mike Alfred and Lynn Alden style tweets here. I mean, this is just talk about a day for Pio. He couldn't be more happy.
Well, there you go.
I was curious about one thing about the Solana, Bitcoin, Ethereum all moving. Well, I feel like Ethereum is finally starting to move, which for me was exciting for my bags. But I was curious. I did see some sentiment on the timeline on Twitter yesterday of people saying, hey, it's altcoin season. I'm selling and I'm taking my profits from Ethereum. I'm taking my profits from Bitcoin, Solana, and I'm rotating that into altcoins and meme coins. Easy. Do you see any reason in that, Nick?
Well, I mean, you see Solana volume up 124% on a 24-hour window. So, like, typically when you see ranges or blow off tops on things like that, an 11% candle on Bitcoin we haven't had in such an extensive period of time. If Bitcoin chops here, which is what a lot of people are betting on, typically you see Bitcoin dominance lag, which does cycle into alts, which would be obviously my favorite, Solana. But I do have decent alt exposure. Like, I hold AVAX, HBAR, and Solana as my 3 like speculative alt bets. I know Pio's like, you need more Bitcoin. Sure, I hold more Bitcoin than ETH personally, just because we've seen ETH lag across the board, and I think that's actually going to continue at the moment. Personally, I think that the cycle we've seen over the last 2 years, though, has been Bitcoin dominance. We just saw ETH get some legs finally. Alts then absolutely rip. And with Sol leading that charge, Sol dominance and Sol pairs are looking insanely strong, which now has me looking at these other alts and seeing where they are on some like larger time frame charts. But then, of course, like even now, man, I'm starting to look into NFTs again pretty aggressively, especially for newer stuff. Because if crypto chops here for the end of the year and we trade on ETH from 1750 to 1900, we chop on Sol from 27 to 33, and we chop Bitcoin for even say 30 to 33, I'm going to be like, this is a perfect storm for NFTs to start getting more exposure and interest. You have this red day over the last 24 hours because of the blow off top that we've just had on crypto. Not surprising. People obviously cycle into liquid. But if that starts chopping, it's going to set up for a beautiful rally, I think, across NFTs.
Easy.
just-
Quick.
Oh,
Sorry,
go
just a quick one on this, right? So if the case here is that Bitcoin's pumping because of potential ETF, because of potential BlackRock buying of Bitcoin, then the next logical step would be that potentially there'd be an ETH ETF in the future
there
at
is
some
one
point.
already.
So
Yeah.
a spot ETH
Yeah, it's
ETF
being
in
queued
the
up.
United States.
Yeah,
I think-
Grayscale actually applied to convert their volatility ETF to a spot, but we saw how long it took for Bitcoin's ETF approval. So I think that this is a longer game.
Whoa. Hang on. Sorry. One sec. So it hasn't been passed, right? All of this
No.
is like potentially happening in the future.
Yes.
Why would what is your thesis here that Solana would outperform ETH if the bull case here is all based on ETFs?
Yeah, because right now you're still seeing ETH's weakness with this Bitcoin spot ETF. And right now it's all speculative price action. The Bitcoin one hasn't been approved. So, and we're already seeing buy pressure extremely heavily, knowing how long this is a year running for spot Bitcoin ETF. So if ETH has a year-long timeline where we don't have any major catalyst for Sol from an ETF perspective, but we have infrastructure catalysts like Fire Dancer, compressed NFTs, and other user applications, which are consumer facing, quicker access and go to market than an ETF. That's where my thesis is that you're actually going to see more consumer adoption. And when you look at mainstream media style things, what's being shown now to the public is Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana as the 3 tokens that they show for crypto. It used to be Litecoin, it used to be Bitcoin Cash, and they've now shifted that to Sol. So seeing that and knowing that Sol is a fraction of the cost, and a person can go and take a paycheck on a Friday and buy 2 Solana for $60 versus buying a fraction of an ETH or a micro fraction of a Bitcoin means that retail participation is significantly more interesting to me, because the psychological aspect of it is I own 2 Solana versus I own 1/100th of an ETH or 1/1 millionth of a Bitcoin. That whole number does have a big effect. It's why a lot of people buy Doge. I'm a Doge millionaire was a saying for that bull run extensively. And just knowing how much consumer facing side of things Sol's been pushing for is exactly why I'm like, this feels like a better bet, especially with the relative strength it's shown since the FTX collapse a year ago.
I feel like that can be shortened down to literally one thing or like 2 things, which is that people are still building on Solana. There's a ton of activity that's on Solana when you look at all of the chains that are happening, and secondary and tertiary chains tend to have better price action during bull market runs. So if you're looking, someone who's looking to, and then maybe you move that into Bitcoin in the future, I have no idea, or you move it into, you take some money off the table and suddenly you're a multimillionaire because you bought all these things at an insanely cheap price, which is still relatively cheap. Yeah, Bitcoin could cut in half in some, like challenging situation. You could still see all these things go down. But the real question is like, I don't know if like this is the moment that this thing is going to pump, honestly, but this is one pump of many. But if you recall, like many other bear markets, the bear does tend to last longer than most people expect, and all of these pumps tend to pull people in, and this is a great opportunity for some of those whales that are actually moving money in a significant way to take some gains of stuff that they've been buying at cheaper prices. That, like, all that said, Solana has a ton of upside despite the ETF, because when one thing rises, all things rise. Like, that's basically what happens. So when Bitcoin goes up, the whole crypto space goes up. And when ETH goes up, following that as well, people start hunting down, to Easy's point, the better deals. And Solana is the top of that list of where those deals exist. Like, but I think of like watching people like BitBoy and stuff like that, where like, and these like scam YouTubers essentially, who are like kind of parroting the talking points of blockchains that have no action on them whatsoever. Like, and they're just talking about the future of name some random blockchain, essentially, that they end up bringing up, that this chain is going to focus exclusively on gaming or whatever it is. And everyone apes into that thing. Nothing's been built. There's no action that's happening. But Solana has a ton of stuff that's going on. In fact, what is Ethereum from a user experience standpoint improved upon in the past like 3 years? We got MetaMask suddenly realizing that they need to build a wallet. So that's like exciting to see that like they're actually upgrading features within it.
Well, it's why I'm so excited for next week too. In Amsterdam, dude, they show so much consumer facing stuff. Like the talks they give last year was heavily on Fire Dancer's introduction, which is 1 million transactions per second. And they were using Solana Pay basically everywhere, where you just scan a QR code and you can actually transact, which opens up like the whole banking the unbankable or bankless, which was a big argument because Solana does have a massive international market of people who are heavily focused on mobile. And Solana's done a great job of focusing on these people not in the Western world who are largely mobile focused. And we've seen a huge influx of that. So it just continues to interest me because when I'm looking at a lot of this stuff, I try to look for things that maybe I don't even interact with personally. Like I use my Phantom wallet heavily on computer. There's so many people globally, even during the bull run, it had such a large mobile user base, which you can't say for other blockchains. And they've really optimized for a wider consumer market, which becomes inherently more interesting.
Also, your dollar is being debased, basically, if they haven't even like reduced the supply. That's the thing that's like actually crazy of this whole thing. This interest rate thing increasing, the change of the money supply is this giant chart of money going straight to the moon, and then them like taking a fraction of money from that system. So that's the bigger issue that's going on here, is that like, and if there's like people are talking about them printing so they can get the interest rate back down, also so that the US government can actually afford the debt that it's covering right now. We're kind of in a pretty bad cycle as it applies to those things. Now, that said, I don't know, as much as I understand the position of crypto, anyone in the crypto space who's a maximalist on saying that like, well, there's one that has unlimited supply and there's one with literally a finite supply, Bitcoin being the primary example here. And so do you want one of infinite or do you want one of finite? You're probably going to want the one of finite. The problem is with that position is are people going to be transacting in that currency? And that's the thing that I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things that need to happen. And to Easy's point, what I think is way more likely is a USDC to be the thing that people are transacting in. It is a common denominator for people to operate with. And from that standpoint, if Solana can provide the superior USDC experience, or whatever stable coin is the currency, the accepted currency of the day, then actually they provide a far superior platform. When we see Ripple and things like that, does Ripple have USDC support? I have no idea. But like that,
Ripple's more of an institutional bank style of thing right now, is what you're seeing the adoption rate go for, is cross-border payments and them getting approved for international cross-border payments. And that's where Ripple's doing a very good job. I mean, them winning the lawsuit also kind of sets a level of precedent. But that's the thing is like, I just look for these use cases that we don't typically see in the US from some crypto. And that's where I'm more interested in things.
It will be interesting to see, how this evolves and where it goes. I don't know whether the thesis will hold, but I do sure know that there's going to be at least one more run up of all these assets, regardless. And so that's why I'm like, why don't I take, the PO approach, which is that I have all of my position inside of this thing and then just kick back with the 5, 10, $20 million that I have at that point in time. And actually for the first time, because houses will be worth a one-bedroom apartment will be $10 million at that point. So maybe at that point, I'll be able to buy a one-bedroom apartment. Still, it's absolutely ludicrous that you basically can't buy an apartment pretty much anywhere that you would have any interest in living. Like, you have to go far away from society in order to afford any sort of housing, and or like you need to go and look at where it's just like an impoverished town where all factories have like abandoned the workforce and everyone's addicted to heroin right now. Like that's where you're essentially aiming. And that's the last sort of stand of capitalism, right? We're extracting every last piece. That's actually the bigger concern. Dude, where are you going to go? Like, we need to go create our own like place to exist where we're like, nah, the houses here, we have a limited supply of houses. We're going to take the Bitcoin approach here, and we're going to make every house, when you buy in, we're going to start with a fixed price where we issue those houses of that town at a price that's reasonable at the build rate. And no one can sell for less than they actually bought. But
a couple things. So first of all, remember when we looked up the house near where my mom lives and you were like, oh, that's a nice house. And it was like, yeah, it's $1.1 million. And it was built in 1922. And it's like, oh, I got to pay $1.1 million for something built over 100 years ago. Interesting. Second thing is, listening to you talk about currency debasement and inflation of the money supply is just music to my ears. That is beautiful, beautiful sound. It's similar to like, Sinead O'Connor singing a ballad or something. It's just unbelievable. And so, yeah, so that's just amazing. 2025, all that matters is how much you have in 2025. Doesn't matter what the price is. I don't care if somebody buys it at 35, 25, 45, 65, 20. It does not matter. All that matters is how much you have in 2025. And real quick, I want to take a minute to shout out the
Cash City real quick before you give that shout out. It's called Cash City, Antoine. We're building Cash City. And a lot of people don't realize that it's actually a physical place. So you're going to be able to, on your door of your house will be the picture of your NFT, and you can identify people by their NFT. In our world that we're creating of Cash City, it is a future city that we're building. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a minute to just shout out the amazing partners of the show again. That's SHRAPNEL. SHRAPNEL is an upcoming extraction first-person based shooter game. It's brought to you by a team of industry badasses, and you can get early access to the game. It's going to be dropping in December. Their extraction packs just went up for sale, and they're available for a limited time. They have 3 tiers available. The cheapest tier starting as low as $20, and it's going to give you early access to the game, weekly drops, operators, which are in-game assets, and more. And that's especially if you purchase the higher tiered packs. Clemente has them pulled up on the video feed right now, which is available on X and on YouTube. Everybody that buys an extraction pack and comments a screenshot of it in the pinned tweet in the next 24 hours, that's the pinned tweet on Twitter right now, is going to be entered to win one of 2 operators. Operators are worth nearly $200. So you can sign up by going to thenifty.com/shrapnel. That's thenifty.com/SHRAPNEL. That should be pinned to the top of the Twitter space, and you can buy your limited extraction pack now. That's thenifty.com, THENIFTY.com/shrapnel, SHRAPNEL. So anyway, moving on to the last thing that we're going to talk about is straight up meme coin season. Well, actually, real quick, I want to ask this. Nick, what is your take on this? What do you think of buying a mutant ape right now? What do you think of that?
I saw someone post about that. Or actually, no, we got a DM. About a mutant ape? Well, it is interesting from the standpoint that like they're going to keep building. I don't like the supply of tokens that they have. I am personally more interested in how low have we gotten with squiggles?
Very, very good question.
I think that was like 10 ETH though. It is still twice as much as a mutant ape.
8.68 ETH. Pretty cheap.
Well, that's just because ETH pumped, so the price came down. Basically, that's like the temporary thing. It does readjust. I think it said $15,000 for this. I mean, that's pretty expensive.
16.
Not cheap.
So I'm not participating in this one. This is, but that said, I mean, Chromie Squiggles have done really well. Mutants, I'm curious, what's your thesis here?
Look, man, I don't think NFTs are actually dead, obviously. And just like people were like trying to poke fun at Bitcoin when the price was down, I just feel that it's the same thing with NFTs. I think you have to wait longer for the NFTs to properly come back. I think nobody in the NFT space, aside from smart money, is down to wait any amount of time. And in moments like this, just like how at the bottom of the bear market when FTX goes down, the only thing that I can realistically see myself buying is Bitcoin. You got to go flight to quality in the NFTs. And look, Rafiq's, I think, pretty damn like buying an individual artist is harder for me. The artist would be Rafiq, Tyler Hobbs, Dmitry Cherniak, Chromie Squiggles. But at the same time, it's really speculative to like basically bet on an artist's career. It just is. And there's not, and a lot of those artists I'm priced out of. I'm priced out of Tyler Hobbs, unless I was going to buy a QQL. But QQL is like this experimental thing. It's like a harder pill for me to swallow. There's no liquidity on it. Although maybe I'm just an idiot and QQL is going to be worth like so much money, which it probably is. Who knows? The mutant ape, like on the collectible side of NFTs, the mutant ape you get the ticket to the yacht club. It's only 5 Ethereum, which I have lying around. I could just buy one right now. It's interesting to me. And when things come back, this is one of the things that's going to come back. I'm not going to buy like a Moonbird. I'm not going to randomly buy a Moonbird, but it's interesting for me to buy a mutant ape. It's just something I've been thinking about. It's interesting. I don't know. If I want to have NFT exposure, that's an interesting way to do it to me.
So I like having a punk. That's one that I'm like,
absolutely.
I could see that going to like 500,000 plus during this next cycle. I'm interested in Solana, the token itself. With NFTs, look, I mean, I would love to build a portfolio on that front. The problem is a lot of these are really expensive. I mean, we're cleaning up some of the Bodago and Cash City ecosystem, I should say. So I'm interested in that. That's my altcoin favorite for unbiased reasons, obviously. But I don't know. I already have a mutant, so I just have my mutant and I'm holding on to it, and I have a plot of land, so I'm just holding on to that. So that's where I'm standing. Don't you still have a mutant though?
No, I sold my mutant
it when you sold your ape
at the beginning of the year for $25,000, and it funded like this whole year. Like, think about that's like a lot of like meals and stuff. And I don't know what's wrong with my internet. I'm going to murder Verizon. I'm literally going to murder Verizon.
Well, we can see you.
Okay.
So everything's been working on our end.
Okay.
I'm the Damian Hirst. That's an interesting one. The offers there are pretty low. I have some Justin Aversano. Which wallet is this that you're looking at here?
You have a dead fella?
Wow.
Yeah, I guess I do. Yeah, I have a dead fella. Wow.
I didn't even know. Couch cushion NFTs over here.
Yo, that's wild.
You have a crypto too?
Oh shit, I still own a crypto.
Wow. Nick, look at you. You have Sandbox land?
I have a plot of Sandbox land, yeah.
A Rumble Kong? What is going on here, dude?
Dude, what?
I have a V friend. I have a
You
nice.
have the Adidas NFT?
I still have an Adidas NFT. That's crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just listening, we are going through one of Nick's wallets on OpenSea, and the guy's got a lot of stuff. You have a Suptuck? You have all the classics, man. If these things come back, you're rich.
Well, I like holding on to some. I just held some of these because I was like, you know what? Like, who cares?
Is that a Cool Man's Universe in there too?
No way.
Yeah, scroll up a little bit. Right there.
You have a Cool Man's Universe. Dude, I love this, Nick. This is awesome. You have literally
the greatest hits of 2021 bull run.
I mean, this feels like if we're being honest, like I took out a bunch of money. I ended up taking out probably around $1 million basically. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep some of these. I got Justin Aversano in here, a couple of them basically. One, the floor is 12.5 ETH, which is pretty nice.
You have a Meebit.
I got a Meebit in there. Yeah, man. So to me, this feels like I love my NFT exposure at this moment in time.
You have some good stuff.
I have a Punk. I have really good.
2x copies.
Really solid exposure. The X copy, that one is interesting. I would be curious what other X copy opportunities there are. I think I need more art on this front. Which you got the 10 KTF apes, the Gucci Grail ones. I love this portfolio. Like this is a favorite portfolio. Like I'm really happy with what was collected and crafted here.
I'm blown away. I had no idea. You still have Adam Bomb Squad. I mean,
I kept one of them, but I made money on Adam Bomb Squad. I bought a bunch and I sold a bunch of them at the top. And yeah, like basically I just kept a bunch of these, you know, because I was like, you know, let's see what happens. Yeah, I still got a Gucci cloth sitting in there, but 10 KTF got deprecated. So that's worth zero.
Yeah, 10 KTF people are going to literally show up outside your apartment with pitchforks after that comment. Wow, that's a tough one. I can't believe.
God, I let some of those things I shouldn't have let sit there for an extended period of time. But I like the way that it looks. It's like, to me, it really is a collection. Like it's a thing that feels like a moment in time that I've captured, and I like it. Some of those that are in there. Well, actually, if you look at that Punk, the cutout crypto Punk, that was my first NFT. You scrolled past it. Scroll up.
Is that Gremlin?
You're going down. Yeah, on the left hand side. There you go. That one was my first NFT. This is a cardboard cutout from Gremlin I got for free. And at one point, these pumped to 1 ETH, and I didn't do anything with that. But yeah, the floor is 0.69 ETH on this. No one's trading this collection. Like there's no activity here. But I'm sort of hoping 1 year ago. But I'm sort of hoping that like people, as they go digging around, end up finding some of these things. The thing that's cool is it reminds me of like when you have a physical collection, but it doesn't take up space. You know, so I get to keep all these items. I got my Flyfish club in there. I got my plot of land from other side. I just like it. I like sitting there with it, and I value most of these at zero. My overall NFT portfolio is over 100,000, primarily because of the Punk and the Mutant
and Justin Aversano.
So those three NFTs basically make up 90+% of the portfolio.
Meebit too is, I mean, there is value to a Meebit. I don't know what the floor is, but it's not zero.
Yeah, the Nifty portals, I'm like one of the largest holders, but I can't sell those, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. But a lot of these are. I don't know. I'm happy with my collection. So yeah, grab a Mutant and then try and match my game. You know what I'm saying? Like try and match my collecting game here. I got the Rug Radio in there still.
Wonky stonks.
I got wonky stonks. Some of these I may move over to the vault. Crypto Arte. Remember how that was like the future, like the most iconic thing? It's now freaking worthless, this stupid thing.
That's that. Well, the thing is all those historical things. I mean, people will try to pump these again for sure. Look at that. That thing got up to like 1 ETH floor. People will try to pump those again. It's not going to happen. Dude, I had no idea that you had that. Also, you just walked us through like the thesis of NFTs. That was just like a hilarious and wholesome way where you're like, yeah, like it's kind of like having an art collection, but you don't have, it doesn't take up any space. It's kind of like nice. You know, I like them. I'm like, yeah, dude, this is like the thesis of NFTs. And now that prices on crypto went up a little bit, you can kind of say that and not get laughed at. Normally people would be like, you're an idiot, NFTs are dead, blah, blah, blah. But because the prices went up a little bit, you're not getting laughed at. Lush sucks.
Crap.
But I think this is a really good example of like, because the crypto prices have gone up, like as people feel a wealth effect, that they feel richer, even if they haven't realized it yet. It's like, what would you then put your money into as you scroll through Nick's wallet? And I know you're saying, Pierre, that it's really hard to identify that one artist, and I completely agree. But we're also at a time where you're having these like Anadol type characters like come into the space, do these drops at obviously not at cheap prices. It wasn't. It was, I think it was like $2,500 the mint, I believe, for a piece. But given his career, you know, if you were to hold that over a long period of time, given he is already an established artist, that is someone you could bet on and be like, yeah, they probably are going to be around and doing something in this space in X amount of years, rather than, you know, potentially rotating into what is essentially Nick's wallet, which, while is incredibly nostalgic and, you know, really fun to look at, most of it is at zero. So it kind of proves the point that if you have a good artist in that collection, it's actually one of the few assets that will keep its value, if you choose the right artist, which will actually keep its value over the long term.
Most of these will be worthless, and I'm totally okay with that, because like what I'm putting in there is really memories of like moments in time. And what I feel like happened during that run was I did pretty damn well. Like I ended up with extracting literally to cash over like $1 million basically, and I put 30 grand in. That's a win. Like, I don't know what, and I ended up with all these NFTs at the end of it. I definitely could have sold some of those. That would have been an opportunity there, but you know, and I think a similar thing will happen here. That said, trading aggressively in the NFT space, I also simultaneously understand now NFTs were really fun because for the reason that you actually could go from like zero or a very small amount to a very significant amount. They were the shit coins essentially of the 2021 bull run, and a lot of them went to zero the same way that shit coins do. And I also understand now why there's a lot of people that probably have a significant amount of money that they're just like, nah, I'm good. I'll just buy Bitcoin. Like they don't need it, or like, I'll just buy this other thing, because like for them to get a 5X is a huge win on their portfolio. And you're going from maybe $1 million to 5 million. That's like just a big, like that's a big win for your portfolio. And you don't have to make all of those moves. And yes, you could go make a small bet and become an LP in someone's fund like Spencer, who's trading the NFTs and on top of everything that's going on there and making all of those moves. That's, I think, probably the more reasonable thing if you have more money. If you're trying to get a ton of gains and you want to come from a smaller amount and turn it to a big amount, then yeah, I think NFTs will return and revive as one of the primary areas where that takes place. That said, it's mixed with the actual shit coins like MOG and all these other things in Pepe. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I got amazing portfolio from a sup duck. Someone who's still rock.
That means the most.
That is a dope portfolio. I mean, NFT people are going to give you mad respect. Real quick, back to the Mutant Ape thing. It's a flight to quality in my mind. It's Bored Ape Yacht Club, and it's so cheap compared to a Punk. I just looked it up. Punk is 42 Ethereum, bro. 42 Ethereum. You know, not that many people have 42 Ethereum just chilling. You know, that's like a solid amount. It's like almost 80 grand. I can't just buy a Punk right now. I could, but I'd have to like liquidate a bunch of, it's not happening. We're not trading in Bitcoin for a crypto Punk, but but the mutant ape at 4 or 5 Ethereum, that's pretty interesting. You know what I mean? So,
well, here's the thing on the punk. I look at that going from 80,000 that it's at right now to $500,000 is kind of like my upside target. There's a lot of people that tell me they'll be worth $1 million. Great. But if it goes to $500,000, I'm pretty pumped at that point in time. I think Bitcoin is another one that, like, you look at that, I don't think it's unreasonable to be in the 150 to 250 range at a like, that doesn't feel crazy. I know that there's a lot of targets at 450 sort of thing. I see people saying, like, pushing some of those numbers, but I do think something with like $150,000 for Bitcoin feels, completely within reason. And so if you're looking for a 5X, that's the thing that you're betting on right now. And you're betting on a 5X in a reasonable amount of time, which is just crazy. So every asset I look at, I'm interested in having at like millions of, or $500,000 plus of value that I have there. That I have a lot of exposure to the NFT side right now, still just between those three things. To me, it's like over $100,000. And then I have my collection of old shit coins, if we want to call them that, which one of those is going to pump. One of those is going to pump. We got
one of them has to.
In different ducks. Yeah, they rugged, but they're coming back. I didn't sell any of them. There were people that were pissed when I think I did an impromptu space about Indifferent Ducks, or it could have been the morning show, whatever it was. And remember, like, our Discord went wild over Indifferent Ducks. I think we sold it out. And it was just so fun minting those ducks, and they looked super cool. And then the team was just like, "Yo, this is too hard. We're leaving."
Yeah, I mean, but that's nearly all teams. I mean, including, like you pointed out, some corporate teams just weren't really doing anything. OpenSea wasn't doing any updates at all until Blur basically started to eat their lunch. I mean, it's just unbelievable. You can't draw it up. It's like, are we in high school, or are you trying to be like a big time entrepreneur here? It's just strange. But what I'll tell you is not high school is the absolute badass people from our amazing partner of today's show, SHRAPNEL. SHRAPNEL is an upcoming extraction-based shooter. Literal PhD, upcoming extraction-based shooter game, first-person shooter, brought to you by a team of industry badasses that are used to actually building things from the ground up and seeing them through, like most entrepreneurs outside of the crypto space actually do. And you can get early access to the game coming in December. So that's through the extraction packs. They just went up for sale. They're available for a limited time. They have 3 tiers available for starting as little as $20. And those are going to give you early access to the game, weekly drops, operators, which are in-game assets, and more. And that's especially if you purchase one of the higher tiered packs. So everybody that buys an extraction pack and comments a screenshot of it to the pinned tweet on the Twitter Spaces show in the next 24 hours is going to be entered to win one of 2 operators that we're giving away. Those are worth almost $200. Clemente has all of the assets pulled up on the screen right now. If you want to go to the pinned tweet, right, or the link that we have on the YouTube stream, which is thenifty.com/shrapnel, THENIFTY.com/shrapnel, SHRAPNEL. This is a dope video game made by actual video game veterans that is crypto based. So it's really cool stuff. Check it out. thenifty.com/shrapnel, SHRAPNEL. And I think that's just about our show, right, Nick? Or you got something to add?
I just want to comment on one thing. So this Flyfish tweet I did, there's a lot of responses from people about purchasing this for $6,725, including Gary V, who replied, and I'm now in conversations with the CEO of this organization. I was going to do a video yesterday. We got another video instead that we're going to drop today, hopefully in a few hours. I don't know what PO your morning is looking like, but I want to knock this out.
I'm going to try.
If you need some help, let me know.
Absolutely.
I think that like, it was interesting to see some of the commentary. They're like, "Oh man, you should have just bought a shit coin." I'm like, I'm exposed to a bunch of stuff. Like, a lot of people were just looking like being like, one guy says, "How much did they pay you?" Another person is like, well, NFT guy was like, I hope that sushi tastes good, which is completely valid. But there were some people that were like excited about it because there is a valid reason to be excited about it. But there were also people just being like, yo, man, nice flex, bro. Like, and I'm like, no, this is the inverse of a flex. Like, I don't think you understand. I paid $6,700 for it. It's now worth $1,700. So I'm down $5,000 on that purchase. It was interesting to see. And I think from the NFT side, there's a lot of people who don't understand, like they just don't understand that if you post an NFT that you bought for thousands of dollars, that you're saying that you lost it. Like you lost money on that purchase. People just don't understand that.
They really don't understand. The other thing is that this obsession with shit coins and like buying something for 24 grand or like at the $24 price and then selling it at the $26 price is just wild. They would have never held that Flyfish ever in a million years. I just really hope that people can understand, like, dude, you're going to want to have some of this stuff in 2025. Like, I get that you have an opportunity to make like $700 because you bought something at $24 and it pumped to like 29 and you're like, wow, I got a $700 gain. That's juicy. I just hope that people will figure out, like, dude, all that matters is how much you have in 2025. It's not made up. This is real.
That's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? Is how much of this you got in 2020. How rich are you? That's what I'm at. Like, people are going to be asking, we're going to be at networking events and people are just going to be like, how rich are you? They're going to walk up to you. They're going to be like, yo, are you rocking those artifact kicks? Are you rocking those artifact kicks? I got them yesterday. Those things are honestly like super legit. I mean, these are some of they're pretty incredible. The shoes and the packaging and everything associated with it. It is really well done.
Is anybody surprised? I mean, it's an official Nike Murakami collab. Franelations was like, this is the most obvious thing ever. NFT degens are like, it's an ERC 1155. I don't want it.
So I saw Witters asking about the restaurant, and when they were launching, they've hosted events where you could go and trial. I don't even know if it was trial food, because honestly, the food was a little bit like not spectacular. I'm going to be honest, but they're going to be making this restaurant here in New York. They have the building where it's going down. And so I asked the guy who runs this, hey, can I come shoot some footage maybe of like a construction zone inside of this where like things are being built? And yesterday he called me back in the evening, or I called him in the evening. We were supposed to hop on a call and I was like, hey, now still good. And he was like, actually, let me give you a call like tomorrow. Like, he was super sort of shifty with when the timing was for the next point. Like, he didn't even give me a Calendly or something like that. It was I don't know. I'm gonna follow up with him this morning and find out what the deal is. But their update is like 2023. We're heads down focused. We're not doing any events right now. We're focused on building out this restaurant. So that's what they're doing. How much did they raise?
That I don't know. Probably a lot because it was early enough. Clemente?
They also haven't tweeted since July, which is slightly concerning. And last time it was about a July 24th hangout with Gary and Nick. Looks like you missed out on that.
That was on the roadmap. That was on Zoom.
Oh.
I'm pretty certain that was on Zoom.
Yeah,
just buy the wine and drink it in front of your computer while Gary was on the screen.
Yeah, this is great. We're drinking wine together. I mean, this is great. Zoom, this is great.
Well, if this turns out to be, I mean, this is going to be one of our greatest investigations. If we don't, we're now in contact with the key figures there. Gary did respond though, and it sounded like the thing is legit. So I don't think, like, I wouldn't say that this, like, it was written about in the New York Times is actually a real thing. So a lot of people are the commenters are being like, this thing's not even going to be created, which I would not take that position at this point in time.
Dude, NFT people are just so fun. Like, it's not going to get created. Dude, he responded to you. He said it's coming in Q1. It's going to be a restaurant. Like, that's not the most out. He didn't say you're going to fly to Mars.
Here are the numbers. So I remember it being $10,000 for the Flyfish omakase. So they raised 385 times 10,000, which is 3.85 million. Then they got 2650 members at what I think was around there 3,000, which is another 8 million. So they got around $12 million for this thing. God, they could probably own that.
$12 million, and that was 2 years ago. That was back in 2021 or 2022 that you bought that?
That
probably
was
21.
And no, it was right. Was it?
Probably. It was early enough to make 12 million bucks on an NFT drop. That's got to be 21.
It could have been early 2022,
like January.
Econ, I feel like
Pre-March.
Yes, I think it was early 2022 is one.
Okay, so 2 years to secure a location, open a restaurant, and get like that's not a like 2 years. That's okay. Like if you think about the type of restaurant that they're going for, you're not going to turn that around in 1 year normally. Like these are like 18 to 24 months turnaround. So I think as long as they launch in Q1 next year, it's still fine, still good on the deliverable.
I'm looking forward to eating some sushi at this place. So, and the building looks sick. I was going to go shoot content there. Then an opportunity came up in Slack, and I'm very excited about the video. It's looking promising right now. So we can just chop up something real quick.
Just finish this off, Nick. You bought it, your first one, January 7th, 2022.
That's literally the all-time high of NFTs. There you go. That's literally the all-time high of NFTs. Would you look at that? Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you enjoyed the crypto pump yesterday. I'm sure that people you follow on Twitter are going to tell you that there's euphoria right now and you should, quote, take profits. And yeah, just tune in for 2024 and 2025, ladies and gentlemen. The next 24 months are going to be an absolute cook. That doesn't mean that things aren't going to pull back 20, 30, 40% from here before the fireworks of 2024 and 2025 post Bitcoin halving. But anyway, we do the show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every day right here on Twitter Spaces, also available on Apple and Spotify podcasts if you want to share the show with people outside the space. If you want to watch the video feed, we do the video feed on X, on Twitter, and on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Of course, one more shout out to our phenomenal partner, big time video game coming to the crypto space from some industry vets, Shrapnel. Go to the nifty.com/shrapnel. That's /SHRAPNEL to buy one of the extraction packs that just went for sale today. If you post a picture of that in response to the pinned tweet, then you'll be entered for a chance to win one of the two operators that were given away in the next 24 hours, $200 value. Can't wait to see your posts. But that's our show. Shout out to Shrapnel. I need someone else to close out with the music because I didn't do that today. I was late to the show.
Let me take care of that, Pio.
I'm going to end the stream.